What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very specific video for you. It's the winter time, taking apart and cleaning a lot of my reels, doing little minor repairs, and this video is going to be on the TLD 15, the Shimano TLD 15. Great reel. People use it for trolling, lighter trolling. I use it on the fighting stick for the pin rigging. I even just use it on like boat rods for bottom fishing. I mean, it's all around great reel. Great reel to reel up those fish off the reefs. You've seen this a lot in my cobia videos. I just use a boat rod, throw it off into the pier. It's not really a big casting reel. It's not something I bring to the beach and try to get out as far as I can. That's not really what this is made for. Although you could drone a bait out with this. Not saying you can't cast it, but yeah. Not a surf caster. But yeah, you could drone out baits with this thing if that's your thing. The other models that are made the same way, this repair will work for it too. But over time, what I've found is this reel does not go fully into free spool anymore. I have a very simple fix for this, something that you can test out before you buy a new reel, before you send this off to somebody to fix this for you. Try this, see if we can get this thing back into 100% working order by getting it back to go fully into free spool. Okay, so this is the reel. We have obviously loosened the spool tensioner all the way to see if this will go into free spool, and it does not. This is how it's acting. You can see I'm hitting it pretty good, and it's just not. You can tell that something's restricted, right? You've cleaned it, you've done a simple wash on it, but something is definitely restricting it being able to, really continue to spin how it's supposed to. These are fast reels, very fast reels. So when you see it doing something like that, you know that something's not right. Okay, and for this repair, we have a Phillips head screwdriver. We have one of these, which I don't know what it's called. Essentially, it's a piece of metal that is used for sanding. If you don't have that, that is not a problem. You can still just use a piece of sandpaper. Just know when you're using the sandpaper, the more intense the grit is, the less you're gonna really need to do. The finer the grit, obviously, you might need to work at it for a second. Lastly, we have this. Jesus Christ, why do we have that? Okay, we have this because we have to take off one little bolt, and that is all I have at the house right now. Somebody took my wrench set and has not returned them, so please feel free to replace that with something that will take off this nut. So taking apart the reel, you don't need 1,000 IQ to get through this. It's very simple. But first we're going to take off this screw. Take that off. Put it to the side. You're going to take this plate off. Okay. Maybe just twist it and pull it off. There you go. Then you take your massive pipe wrench. I'm not going to be able to do this on camera, but anyway, take this bolt off. Okay, the wrench worked. Got that. Freeze up the handle. Take that off. Take off the spool tensioner. Well, I guess, yeah, remove that too. And if I'm calling any of these parts the wrong name, please don't hound me. Jesus. I made a video on a spinning reel and I called it, I think it was a O-ring, but I called it a rubber band, and I got hounded for that. Come on guys, come on. We got better things to talk about than that. Take this guy off. And then this falls out of the reel. I might need to put some more grease on there, new grease, clean it. And now we have these 3 screws that we're going to take out. Oh yeah, and do make sure that this is in a free spool when you're taking this apart and when you put it back together. Okay, remove the plate. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that we're going to take off. Okay, so fast forward a little bit, we got 1 screw, 2 screws, 3 screws, 4 screws, 5 screws. Remove this. Very careful, stuff will start to fall out. Alright, this part we gotta put back, not a problem. And then we can remove the spool. Spool's free of the frame. Yes. Okay, So, why am I holding this? You wouldn't think this would be the reason for causing this reel to not be able to go into free spool. But right here, there's usually a little sticker. Mine actually fell off during cobia season. But what happens is, over time, I guess temperature change, sun, whatever, this piece right here on the frame, this hole will swell. So when this swells, the back side of this inside right here, it keeps this from being able to go completely in there. What happens is it's swelling over this, keeping this from being able to go in all the way that it needs to. So the last tool that we have is this, or a piece of sandpaper, and what you're going to do is you're going to sand out this area, not a lot, but just a little bit, to free up space. So you need to, like I'm using the sanding dowel, whatever, but you just take it in there and you start, you know, sanding away at it. If you don't have this, using a piece of sandpaper, just either just like rolling it up or just wrapping it around, say something like the dowel, and just sanding it down, that'll work too. Okay, so let me go a little bit more in depth of a visual on how to sand this thing out. So let's just say that this is the frame, the whole of the frame. I know it has two little arms that come out for the actual thing to slide in there, but if you don't have that metal dowel, or whatever you want to call it, or before, I've used just a piece of sandpaper. Let's just act like this is sandpaper, and I took a pen or a pencil and I just wrapped it around here just like that, and then I would take this and I would just sand out the sides. So I'm only like sanding out for like these, like 2 minutes. You don't want to overdo it. You're not trying to make a whole another like width to this. You're just trying to get the access of the swollen piece of, I guess, the frame off by just going around the sides. So yeah, don't overdo it. Okay, so we've sanded it down, and now we're gonna put everything back together. This little guy that goes right back into here. Spool right back into place. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that feels much better. All right, now I got this little buddy. You just put that right back over here and get the arm back onto the spring. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, but there you go, just like that. All right, so we got that back in. Make sure it's making a little clicky when you put it back. All right, we're just gonna clip that back in, just like so. Then we're gonna put these 5 screws back in first. All right, sped up time there a little bit. Got all the 5 screws in. Now we're going to be putting the plate back on. So the plate just goes right back over, just like that. Then you have the 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so all those screws are back on. Put that back on just like that. We got this piece, which will sit down right back into there. You got your knob. There you go. Got the washer, goes right on there. Don't forget about him. Then you got your little pretty little silver thing. Again, I don't know the names for these things. Sue me. Put that right back there. Put what we took off with that big old pipe wrench back on. And use whatever you have to tighten that back down. Put this little guy back on there. Line it up with the hole. Put your last screw in there. Alright, so we have it all back together looking great. One piece, I didn't have any leftover pieces, which is always a bonus. We got this thing in free spool. Check this out. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Very easy fix. Pretty much cost free unless you gotta buy some tools. A little bit of time. But yeah, that baby's going now. She is going. But yeah, so like, you know, all you had to do is get this part right here wind up a little bit. So, golly, the names for these things, I swear. But anyway, so this part can come through the frame when you are putting it in free spool, because when you put it in free spool, it kind of clicks over a little bit, and if this is swollen shut, it's not going to allow this to get through. But anyway, guys, that's it. Short and sweet video on the TLD. Wanted to make a little video to give back to the viewers, not just make videos of me catching fish, but hopefully this will help some people out. But yeah, stay tuned. I will have more fishing to come. We have been doing some winter catfishing, different types of fishing, but to be completely honest, it's been kind of slow. There will be videos out shortly. I do have some recorded, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or anything, or any videos you might want me to make on certain reels. That is, if I have them. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time out on the water catching some fish. Alright guys, later. Bye.